I know you. Not personally, but I know the version of you that picked up this book. I know what your mornings have looked like, the affirmations said in the mirror before the doubt crept back in. The vision board on the wall that you stopped really seeing months ago because looking at it started to feel more painful than hopeful. The journals filled with scripted futures that never quite materialized. The courses you finished, the meditations you showed up for, the gratitude lists you wrote even on the days when gratitude felt like the last thing available to you. I know because I was that person, for longer than I like to admit. And the thing that nobody tells you, the thing that all the manifestation content conveniently leaves out, is how quietly devastating it is to do everything right and still have nothing change. To follow the formula, to show up consistently, to genuinely want it, genuinely believe in it, genuinely try. And then to sit with the gap between what you visualized and what is actually in your life and wonder, in the private moments you would never say out loud, whether the problem is you, whether you are somehow the exception, whether this works for everyone except you. That question, that quiet, corrosive, deeply unfair question, is what this book was written to answer. And the answer is no. You are not the exception. You are not the problem. The problem was never your worthiness. It was what you were taught about it. And more specifically, it was the level at which you were trying to work. Because every technique you have tried has been working at the level of the mind. And your mind is not where the real blockage lives. It lives in your body, in your nervous system, in the energetic field you carry that was shaped long before you ever heard the word manifestation, shaped by scarcity, by fear, by inherited beliefs about what people like you are allowed to have. That field is what your life has been responding to all along. Not your affirmations, not your intentions, the field. The E.C.H.O Method was born from that understanding. I did not create it from theory. I created it from necessity, from being a woman who grew up in real scarcity, who tried every technique available, who did the work sincerely and still kept hitting the same invisible wall. Until I finally understood that the wall was not outside me. It was inside me, and it was not a character flaw. It was a program, a deeply conditioned, completely understandable, entirely changeable program. This book is how you change it. Not by thinking differently, by shifting at the level where the real work actually lives, in the energy you carry, the clarity you hold, the healing you allow, and the ownership you claim. 4 steps, simple enough to begin today, deep enough to change everything. I am not going to promise you that this will be easy. I am not going to tell you that you will read this once and wake up transformed. What I will tell you is that it works, that I have lived it, that the shift is real and it is available, and it is not reserved for people who are more healed or more ready or more deserving than you. It is for you exactly as you are, right now. You have tried everything else. Try this differently, not just with your mind, but with your whole self. Bring your body to it. Bring your honesty to it. Bring the parts of you that are tired and skeptical and have been disappointed before. Bring all of it, because this method was built for all of it. Introduction. Let me be honest with you from the very first page. You have probably tried this before. The affirmations written on sticky notes around your mirror. The vision board you made with genuine excitement and then stopped looking at because the gap between what was on it and what was actually in your life became too uncomfortable to face every morning. The gratitude journals, the scripting, the meditations, the courses, maybe even the retreats. You did the things you were told to do, you showed up, you tried. And if you are holding this book, something still has not clicked. I want you to know something before we go any further. That is not your fault. And it is not evidence that manifestation does not work, or that you are somehow exempt from the life you want, or that you are broken in some fundamental way that all the techniques in the world cannot reach. I know that story intimately, because I lived inside it for years. The quiet shame of wanting things and not having them. The exhausting performance of positivity over a foundation that did not feel positive at all. The creeping suspicion that maybe this works for other people, but not for me. What I eventually discovered, and what completely changed the way I understand manifestation, is that the techniques were never the problem. The level at which they were being applied was the problem. Most manifestation teaching works at the level of the mind. It asks you to think differently, to visualize differently, to affirm differently. And the mind is a powerful thing. But the mind is not where your deepest patterns live. Your deepest patterns live in the body, in the nervous system, in the energetic field you carry into every room, every relationship, every moment of reaching for something more. And that field, the one that was shaped by years of inherited scarcity, by fear, by unworthiness, by the survival mode programming that gets passed down through families and generations without anyone ever naming it. That field does not respond to affirmations. It responds to something deeper. That is what the E.C.H.O Method was built for. I created this framework not from theory, but from necessity. From the lived experience of being a woman who grew up in genuine scarcity, material scarcity, yes, but more importantly, the energetic and emotional scarcity that goes so deep you stop recognizing it as a condition and start experiencing it as your identity. I needed something that worked at the level where the real blockages actually lived. Something that did not just change what I was thinking, but changed what I was feeling, carrying, and radiating at the level of my entire internal experience. E.C.H.O stands for 4 things: energy, clarity, healing, ownership. Each one is a step. Each step builds on the one before it. And together they form a complete framework for shifting not just your mindset, but your entire energetic reality. The thing that your external life is always, without exception, a reflection of. This is a small book. I wrote it that way deliberately because the most important things rarely require hundreds of pages. What they require is honesty, precision, and the willingness to actually apply what you read rather than simply consuming it as information. Each chapter is designed to be felt, not just understood. I will ask things of you as we move through it. Not difficult things, but real things. Things that require you to be honest with yourself about where you actually are rather than where you are performing being. If you have tried everything and nothing has worked, this book is for you. If you understand manifestation intellectually, but cannot seem to make it land in your actual life, this book is for you. If you grew up in scarcity, financial, emotional, energetic, and carry that inheritance in ways you are still learning to see clearly, this book is especially for you. You were not given the wrong desire. You were given incomplete tools. This is the rest of what you need. Ease energy. You don't attract what you want. You attract what your nervous system allows. Let me start with something nobody told me when I first got into manifestation. You can want something with everything you have. You can write it down every morning, visualize it before bed, say the affirmations out loud in your car on the way to work. And still, nothing. Or worse, the thing shows up briefly and then disappears. Or something almost like it arrives but not quite. And you are left wondering what you are doing wrong, why it works for everyone else, why you keep coming so close but never quite getting there. I spent years in that place, years. And the answer, when I finally found it, was not what I expected. It was not that I needed better affirmations or a cleaner vision board or more gratitude. It was that I was trying to manifest from my mind while my body was living in a completely different reality. A reality of fear, of bracing, of waiting for things to go wrong because in my experience, they usually did. Your mind can want one thing while your body is convinced of something else entirely. And the body always wins. Not because the mind does not matter, but because the signal your body is sending is older, deeper, and louder than anything your thoughts can produce. The universe is not listening to your affirmations. It is listening to your frequency. And your frequency is not determined by what you think. It is determined by what your nervous system has learned to expect. Let me give you an example that I think will land. Say you want to manifest love, real love, the kind that is safe and steady and does not leave. You write the affirmations. You mean them, but then you actually sit with the image of someone truly loving you, seeing you, choosing you, staying, and something happens in your body before your mind can catch up. Your stomach tightens, your breathing goes shallow. Something that feels almost like panic moves through your chest. That is your nervous system remembering every time love felt like danger, every betrayal, every abandonment, every moment someone who was supposed to stay left. Your body learned from all of that. and it is protecting you the only way it knows how, by staying braced. But that bracing is also what is blocking you, because you cannot be closed against pain and open to love at the same time. The same walls that keep the hurt out keep the good things out too. This is what energy actually is, not something mystical or complicated. It is the sum of what your system is running underneath everything else. Your emotional default, not the emotion you perform, but the one that is quietly humming underneath your day. Your body's habitual posture, contracted or open, breathing fully or holding. Your relationship to the future, genuinely hopeful or secretly convinced that what you want is probably not coming. That combination, what you feel, how your body is holding itself, what you secretly believe, is your energetic broadcast. And life responds to that broadcast, not to your vision board. So how do you change it? Slowly, honestly, and through the body, not around it. The first thing I want you to do every morning, before your phone, before the noise of the day starts, is give yourself 5 minutes to actually land in your body. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Breathe out for 6. Do that a few times. The long exhale is the important part. It is what tells your nervous system that there is no emergency right now, that you are safe. Most of us are walking around in a low-grade state of alert that we have had for so long we think it is just our personality. It is not. It is a pattern, and this breath is the beginning of interrupting it. Then put your hand on your chest, feel the warmth, feel your heartbeat if you can, and say, out loud if you can manage it, it is safe to be here. Not as a magic spell, as a genuine message to the part of you that has been on guard for a very long time. You are not trying to trick yourself. You are starting a conversation with your own nervous system. And like any relationship, it takes time and repetition before trust builds. The second thing is simply to check in with yourself honestly. After you breathe, ask, where is tension sitting in my body right now? The jaw, the shoulders, the chest, the belly, just notice it. You do not have to fix it immediately. Just see it, the way you would notice weather outside a window. Then ask, what am I actually feeling underneath everything right now? Not what you think you should be feeling. What is actually there? Fear, grief, resentment, longing, whatever it is part of what you are broadcasting today, and you cannot shift what you refuse to see. The third thing is to move. I know that sounds too simple, but stuck energy is stuck because it is not moving. And the fastest way to shift what you're carrying is to literally move your body. Shake your hands and arms out. Actually shake them, the way you shake water off after washing your hands, but your whole body. It sounds silly, but it works. Or put on one song, just one, and dance in your kitchen. Not for anyone. Not as exercise. Just to feel your body move through space. Or go outside and walk fast enough that your breathing changes. Any of these things will do something that no affirmation can do. They will actually move the energy that has been sitting still and solidifying inside you. You cannot think your way into a different energetic state. I tried that for years. The body does not respond to thoughts. It responds to experience. And every time you do these 3 things, regulate, check in, move, you are giving your body a new experience. A small one, but real. And real small experiences, repeated consistently, are how the nervous system actually changes. This is where everything starts. Not with the desire, with the signal. Get the signal right, and everything else in this method has something real to build on. Your body is not your enemy in this. It has been trying to protect you this whole time. What you are doing now is just showing it that it does not have to work so hard anymore, that you are safe, that it is okay to open. That is the beginning of everything. See clarity. The universe responds faster to truth than to perfection. Here is something I had to learn the hard way. Wanting something is not the same as being clear about it. And the universe, life, energy, whatever you call the force that responds to what you put out, does not guess. It mirrors. Which means if what you are putting out is vague, what comes back is vague. If what you are putting out is confused, what comes back is confusing. If what you are putting out is a general direction, with no real emotional truth behind it, what comes back is a general approximation of what you said you wanted, that does not actually feel like what you wanted at all. I spent a long time wondering why the things I manifested did not satisfy me the way I thought they would. Why I would reach something I had been working toward and feel not happy, not fulfilled, just sort of empty and already looking for the next thing. And the reason, I eventually understood, was that I had never gotten clear on what I actually wanted. I had gotten clear on the surface version, the version that sounded right, the version I could explain to someone else, but not the version that was alive in my body, in my emotions, in the specific and personal and sometimes embarrassingly simple truth of what I was actually longing for. That is what clarity is. Not a perfectly worded intention, not a flawlessly structured goal. The honest, personal, emotionally specific truth of what you are actually reaching for, what it would feel like, what it would change, what you would finally stop worrying about if it were here. That truth is what the universe responds to, not the polished version, the real one. Let me show you what I mean. Most people trying to manifest money are not actually trying to manifest money. Money is not an emotion. You cannot feel money. What they are trying to manifest is what money would give them, and that thing is different for every single person. For one person, it is safety. The deep, exhale all the way down feeling of knowing that the bills are handled and the floor is not about to drop out from under them. For another person, it is freedom. The ability to wake up in the morning and decide what the day looks like without anyone else owning their time. For another, it is the ability to take care of people they love, parents, children, the people who sacrificed for them, and who they have been wanting to give back to. For another, it is the thrill of it, the luxury, the beauty, the feeling of having chosen the good thing without checking the price first. These are not the same desire. They feel completely different in the body. They have completely different energetic signatures. And if you are broadcasting, "I want money," without knowing which of these is actually true for you, you are broadcasting a blurry signal. And blurry signals get blurry results. So the first thing I want you to do is go underneath the surface desire to find the real one. Ask yourself, and answer honestly, not with the answer that sounds most spiritual or most reasonable, but with the actual truth. What do I want to feel when I get what I want? Not what do I want to have? What do I want to feel? Because the feeling is the real desire. The thing is just the vehicle you have decided will deliver the feeling. And sometimes there are other vehicles. Sometimes the feeling is more available than you think, through a path you have not yet considered, because you have been so focused on the specific form you decided it had to take. Then ask, what is the version of this that feels personal and alive to me? Not the version you read about someone else having, not the version that looks good on a vision board. The version that, when you imagine it, something in your chest quietly says yes. That version, that is the one worth getting clear on. Let me give you an example of what this looks like in practice. The generic version of a desire sounds like this: I want a relationship. That is not clarity. That is a category. It tells you, and the universe, almost nothing about what you are actually reaching for. It could mean 1,000 different things to 1,000 different people. But the clear version sounds like this: I want to wake up next to someone who feels like home. Someone where the silence between us is comfortable and the laughter comes easily. Someone who is genuinely interested in growing and who wants that for me too. Where I do not have to shrink myself or manage how I am perceived or wonder whether I am too much. Where I just get to be exactly what I am, and that is enough. Do you feel the difference? The second one has a body. It has a texture. When you read it, something either resonates or it does not, and that resonance or absence of it is information about what is actually true for you. The first version produces nothing in the body. The second one moves something. And what moves something in your body is what has genuine energetic power. Once you have found the real desire, I want you to put it into what I call a desire blueprint. It is a simple formula, and I want you to resist the urge to make it complicated. It goes like this: I desire this thing because it allows me to feel this emotion so that I can live this personal truth. Fill in each part honestly, not impressively, honestly. Here is an example of what mine looked like at one point in my journey. I desire consistent income that covers my needs and gives me room to breathe because it allows me to feel safe and creative so that I can focus on the work I actually came here to do without survival fear running underneath everything I create. Every word of that was true. Every word of it was specific. And every word of it had an emotional charge that a generic, "I want more money," simply does not have. When I read it back to myself, I felt it, and feeling it is the point. Write yours, take your time with it. Do not settle for the version that sounds right. Wait for the version that feels true. The third piece of clarity work is learning to visualize from the inside rather than the outside. Most visualization practice teaches you to see your desire like a movie, to watch yourself having the thing, living the life, standing in the house, or holding the relationship, or seeing the number in the bank account. And there is value in that, but it keeps you at a slight distance from the experience. You are watching yourself have it rather than actually inhabiting the having of it. What I want you to do instead is close your eyes and step inside the vision. Feel it from the inside of your own body. Ask yourself, if this were already here, if this were already my reality right now, how would my body feel? Would my shoulders be lower? Would my breathing be deeper? Would there be a quality of ease in my chest that is not there today? Then ask, what would I stop worrying about? What is the specific worry that is running in the background of my life right now that would simply not exist in this version of my life? And then ask, how would I walk into a room? Not what would I wear or what would I say? How would I carry myself? What would be different in the way I take up space? These questions are designed to make the future real in your body right now, not to trick yourself into thinking you already have it, but to give your nervous system a genuine felt experience of the reality you are moving toward. And that felt experience, brief as it may be at first, begins to create a new reference point, a new signal, something your system now knows is possible because it has, in some real sense, already felt it. Clarity is not about getting the words perfect. It is not about constructing the ideal intention statement. It is about being honest enough with yourself to name what you actually want, not the version that sounds good, not the version that other people want for you, not the version you have decided you should want. The real one. The one with your name on it. The one that, when you say it out loud to yourself in a quiet moment, something inside you relaxes slightly, because finally someone is telling the truth. That truth is your signal, and the universe moves toward it faster than you think. Healing. You don't have to be fully healed to manifest, but you do need to stop avoiding the parts of you that feel unworthy. I want to say something right at the start of this chapter that I wish someone had said to me years ago. You do not have to be healed to manifest. If that were the requirement, none of us would ever get started, because healing is not a destination you arrive at and then plant a flag in. It is an ongoing process. It is something you do while you are also living your life, building your dreams, loving people, making mistakes, and getting back up. The idea that you need to resolve every wound and clear every block before you are allowed to receive what you want is itself a block. It is just a more spiritual-sounding version of I am not ready yet. And I have seen it keep people stuck for years. What you do need to do, and this part is non-negotiable, is stop running from the parts of yourself that feel unworthy. Stop bypassing them. Stop covering them with affirmations and high-vibe playlists and back-to-back meditations that keep you floating just high enough above the pain that you never actually have to feel it. Because those parts are not going away. They are waiting. And they will keep waiting and keep quietly sabotaging every good thing that tries to come in until you turn around and face them. This is what I mean by healing in the context of manifestation, not fixing yourself, facing yourself. Here is what actually happens when you start to manifest something real. You get clear on what you want. You do the energy work. You feel the possibility of it genuinely for the first time. And then, almost immediately, sometimes within hours, something rises up from underneath. A voice, a feeling, a tightening in the body, something that says, yeah, but you do not actually deserve that. Yeah, but people like you do not get to have things like that. Yeah, but last time you wanted something this much, it was taken away. Yeah, but if you become successful, your old friends will resent you, and you will end up alone. Yeah, but love always turns into something painful eventually, so why open yourself up to that again? These are not random, intrusive thoughts. These are the beliefs your system built to protect you, based on everything it learned before you were old enough to question what it was learning. The child who watched her family struggle with money and concluded, somewhere beneath conscious awareness, that abundance is not safe for people like us. The girl who loved someone completely and was left, and decided, without deciding, that loving that much is a risk the body cannot afford to take again. The person who was told, directly or indirectly, that wanting too much is greedy, that standing out is dangerous, that making more than the people around you will cost you your belonging. These beliefs are not your fault. They were not chosen. They were formed in the only way a child knows how to make sense of a confusing and sometimes painful world. And they have been running quietly ever since, shaping what you allow yourself to reach for, what you allow yourself to receive, and how quickly you find a way to lose or leave the good things that do make it through. This is not sabotage in the way people usually mean it, as if some destructive part of you is working against your own happiness out of spite. It is protection. Outdated, limiting, genuinely costly protection, but protection nonetheless. And the way you work with protection is not to attack it or override it or drown it in positivity. The way you work with protection is to show it that it is no longer needed, that the threat it was built for no longer exists, that you are safe now in a way you were not when the belief was formed. So let me walk you through how to actually do that. The first step is simply to notice the resistance. And I mean really notice it, not just intellectually acknowledge that resistance exists, but actually feel where it lives in your body when you bring your desire close. Close your eyes. Think about the thing you want. Hold it in your mind as if it is already here, already real, and then just watch what happens in your body. Something will happen, it always does, a knot in the stomach, a tightening across the chest, a subtle urge to change the subject, to open your eyes, to think about something else. That physical response is the resistance. And it is the most honest thing in the room, because the body does not lie the way the mind does. When you find it, get curious about it rather than frustrated with it. Ask it what it is afraid of. I know that sounds strange, but the resistance is not random. It has a logic. It is protecting you from something specific, something your system learned was dangerous. Maybe you want financial abundance, but your stomach knots up when you imagine having it. And when you sit with that knot and ask it what it is afraid of, what comes up is, people will want things from me. They will see me differently. I will not know who my real friends are anymore. That is not irrational. That might be a very accurate reflection of something you watched happen in your family or something you experienced yourself. It makes sense, and it needs your attention, not your impatience, not your override, your genuine attention. The second step is what I call compassionate dialogue. And I want you to try this even if it feels uncomfortable at first, because it is one of the most genuinely powerful things I have ever done for my own healing. Close your eyes, find the resistant part, the one you just located in your body, and imagine that it is not a flaw or a problem. Imagine it is a younger version of you, a child who learned something painful and has been holding that lesson ever since, doing their best to keep you safe with the limited tools they had available at the time. Now speak to that part, not to lecture it, not to convince it that it is wrong, just to acknowledge it. You might say something like, I see you. I know you are scared. I know you learned this for a really good reason, and I am not asking you to pretend that reason was not real. But I want you to know that we are not in that situation anymore. We are not that small. We are not that powerless. We do not need to stay closed to stay safe. It is okay to open now. I have got us. This might bring up emotion. Let it. That emotion is not weakness. It is release. It is the body finally being given permission to feel something it has been holding for a very long time. Do not rush past it. Do not manage it. Just let it move through. The third step is to let yourself grieve. And I cannot overstate how important this is, because grief is the step that most manifestation teaching skips entirely. There is a reason you built the beliefs you built. There is a reason the walls went up. Something happened, or many things happened, over time, that taught you that the world was not safe, that love was not reliable, that abundance was not available to you, that wanting too much ended in disappointment. Those experiences were real, and they deserve to be grieved, not endlessly, not as a permanent residence, but genuinely, honestly, with the fullness of feeling that you probably did not allow yourself at the time, because at the time you needed to cope, to function, to keep going. Cry if it comes. Let it come without apologizing for it or timing it or trying to understand it while it is happening. Write a letter to your younger self, the one who learned to shrink, to brace, to not want too much. Tell her or him what you know now that she or he did not know then. Tell him that what happened was not his fault. That the limitations he inherited were not the truth about him. That he deserved more than he got, and that you are here now, doing this work, in part for him. You might also try writing this in your journal. I forgive myself for believing I had to struggle to be worthy. I forgive myself for thinking that suffering was the price of belonging. I forgive myself for the ways I kept myself small because small felt safe. These are not just nice words. They are the beginning of genuine emotional congruence, the state where your inner child, your body, and your deeper knowing are no longer at war with each other. Where the part of you that wants is no longer being silently undermined by the part of you that does not believe. Where you can hold a desire fully, without the split screen of wanting it and fearing it at the same time. That congruence is what makes manifestation feel effortless. Not because you have eliminated all difficulty from your inner life, but because the parts of you are finally moving in the same direction. The energy is no longer being divided between reaching forward and pulling back. It is unified, and unified energy is extraordinary in what it can create. Your pain is not in the way of what you want. I need you to hear that clearly. The wound that feels like it is blocking you is actually the doorway. The thing you are most afraid to look at is almost always the thing that, when you finally turn toward it, releases the most energy, the most freedom, the most genuine capacity to receive. You do not have to be fully healed, but you do have to be willing to look. To turn toward the parts of yourself you have been leaving in the dark and say, I see you, I am not running anymore, I am here. That willingness is itself a form of healing, and it is enough to begin. Oh, ownership. If you keep asking for it, you haven't claimed it yet. This is the chapter I wish I had read first. Not because the other steps do not matter, they do deeply, and you cannot skip them. But because ownership is the thing that nobody talks about honestly in the manifestation space. Everyone talks about wanting, about visualizing, about raising your vibration and clearing your blocks and getting into alignment. But at some point, all of that has to land somewhere. At some point, the wanting has to become something different, something quieter and more solid and more certain than wanting. It has to become knowing. And that shift from wanting to knowing, from hoping to being, from asking when is it coming to acting like it is already on its way, is what ownership is. It is the moment you stop auditioning for the life you want and start inhabiting it. Not pretending, not performing. Actually stepping into the identity of the person who already has it, already is it, already lives from it. And doing that before the external evidence shows up. Especially before the external evidence shows up. This is where most people stop. Not because they are lazy or not serious enough, but because ownership feels presumptuous. It feels like lying. It feels like you are claiming something you have not earned yet, and that the universe, or other people, or the voice inside your own head is going to call you out on it. Who do you think you are? You do not have that yet. You have not proven it yet. Wait until you have the results before you act like someone who gets results. I understand that voice. I lived inside it for a long time, but here is what I learned. The results do not come first. The identity comes first. The results are always a reflection of who you have decided you are, which means waiting for the results before claiming the identity is waiting for the mirror to smile before you do. It does not work that way. It has never worked that way. You have to move first. Let me tell you what it looks like when ownership has not happened yet, because it is more recognizable than you think. You keep asking when is it coming. That question, however natural it feels, is the energetic equivalent of standing at a door you have already knocked on, knocking again and again. Each knock is a signal that you do not yet trust the door is going to open. And that lack of trust is what keeps it closed. Not because the universe is punishing your doubt, but because the energy of desperate waiting is fundamentally different from the energy of certain expectation. One is contracted, one is open. One is reaching, one is receiving. They feel different in the body, and they produce different results. You feel like an imposter when you talk about your desire out loud. You say I am building a business, but your voice goes slightly apologetic at the end. You say I am a healer or a teacher or a coach, but you immediately qualify it. I mean, I am just starting out. I am not really established yet. I know I still have a lot to learn. You cannot yet say the thing plainly, without the disclaimer, without the shrinking. That shrinking is the gap between where you are and where ownership would have you be. And it is worth paying attention to, because the universe is listening not just to what you say, but to the energy underneath how you say it. You act one way in private and another in public. In private, you know what you want. You can feel it. You have done the work in this book and something has genuinely shifted. But in public, with friends, with family, with people who knew you before, you collapse back into the old version, the smaller version. The one that does not want too much or take up too much space or make anyone uncomfortable by changing. That gap between your private knowing and your public being is costing you more than you realize, because your energy is split. Part of you is claiming the new identity. Part of you is still performing the old one, and split energy does not manifest cleanly. Ownership closes that gap. It says, "This is who I am now, not who I will be when I have the proof, who I am now." And it means being that person consistently, not just in meditation, not just in your journal, but in the actual choices you make on an ordinary Tuesday. So here is how you step into it. The first thing I want you to do is get very specific about who the version of you is who already has this. Not what they have, who they are. How do they move through the world? How do they speak about themselves and their work, with apology or with grounded certainty? What do they no longer tolerate that the current version of you is still putting up with? What boundaries exist in their life that do not yet exist in yours? What do they charge? How do they dress, not for anyone else, but as an expression of how they feel about themselves? What do they say yes to, and what do they say no to without guilt or lengthy explanation? Write it down, get specific. Because the gap between who you are now and who that version of you is, that gap is the work. Not the affirmation work, the actual behavioral, daily, embodied work of closing the distance between the two. If you are manifesting consistent income at a level you have not yet reached, the version of you who has that income does not undercharge and then resent it. He does not take on work that drains him because he is afraid to say no. He does not spend hours justifying his prices to people who were never going to value his work anyway. He sets the price. He holds it. He moves on. That is not arrogance. That is ownership. And it signals to the world and to your own nervous system that you know what your work is worth. That signal attracts a completely different caliber of opportunity and client and experience than the signal of someone who is still hoping someone will tell he is worth it. The second piece is what I call daily acting as practice. And I want you to understand what I mean by acting here, because I do not mean performing something fake. I mean choosing, every single day, one concrete action that belongs to the future identity rather than the current one. One small thing. Not a grand gesture, not a complete overhaul of your life in a single day, just one thing. Register the business name you have been sitting on for months. Send the email you have been drafting and redrafting, because you were waiting until you felt more ready. Raise your price. Say no to the client or the project or the invitation that is misaligned with where you are going, without the 3-paragraph apology about why. Wear the thing you were saving for when you had arrived. Book the thing you were going to book once things were more stable. Speak about your work the way someone who believes in it speaks, plainly, without the disclaimer, without the shrinking. Each of these actions is a vote for the new identity over the old one, and votes accumulate. Every time you choose the action that belongs to the future version of you rather than the comfort zone of the current version, you are sending a signal to yourself, to your nervous system, to the world around you, that this is who you are now. Not who you are becoming, who you are, and the world begins to respond to that signal in ways that will sometimes surprise you. The third piece is the declaration, and I want you to do this even though it will probably feel uncomfortable, especially because it will feel uncomfortable. Because the discomfort is the gap talking. It is the old identity resisting the new one. And the way you close the gap is not by waiting until it feels comfortable. It is by speaking the new truth while the discomfort is still there, and trusting that the feeling will catch up to the declaration over time. Say it out loud. This is who I am now. I am not trying to become this. I am not working toward this. I am returning to this. Because there is something in that word, returning, that carries a different energy than becoming. Becoming implies you are not there yet. Returning implies you always were, and you are simply remembering. And that energetic difference is everything. Say it even when the external evidence has not caught up. Say it especially then, because the external evidence is always the last thing to shift. The internal shift comes first. The energetic shift comes first. The identity shift comes first. And the external world, the opportunities, the people, the circumstances, the money, the love, the freedom, arranges itself around the internal reality you have claimed, not the other way around. The universe responds to certainty, not to desperation, not to how long you have been waiting or how hard you have been trying or how much you deserve it. To certainty, to the quiet, grounded, undefended knowing of someone who has stopped auditioning and started being. That is ownership, and it is the most magnetic frequency available to you. You have done the energy work, you have found the clarity, you have faced the healing. Now there is only one thing left to do. Claim it, not when you feel ready, not when the evidence shows up, not when someone else gives you permission. Now, this is who you are, you have always been this, and you are done waiting to prove it. Conclusion, your life is already listening. I want to end this book the way I wish someone had ended every spiritual book I read during the years. I was still lost in the gap between wanting and having. Not with a neat summary. Not with a motivational send-off that feels good for 5 minutes and then evaporates. But with the truth. The simple, unglamorous, genuinely liberating truth that took me longer than it should have to find. The problem was never you. I know that sounds like something you have heard before. I know it might even feel hollow right now if you have been trying for a long time and things have not shifted the way you hoped. But I need you to hear it anyway, and I need you to hear it specifically, not as a general encouragement, but as a precise diagnosis of what is actually happening. The problem was never your worthiness, it was what you were taught about it, and teachings can be unlearned. You are not unclear, you just never had permission to want things specifically and honestly. A dysregulated nervous system is not a character flaw. It is not evidence that you are less spiritual than other people, or less deserving, or less capable of the life you want. It is the completely understandable result of everything you have been through. The scarcity, the fear, the inherited beliefs, the moments that taught your body that the world was not safe, and that wanting too much ended in disappointment. Your nervous system learned what it learned for real reasons. It was doing its job. And now, with the tools in this book, you are gently teaching it something new. You are not unworthy, you are just unclear. And clarity, as you now know, is not something you either have or do not have. It is something you practice. It is the ongoing, honest, sometimes uncomfortable work of going underneath the surface desire to find the real one. The one with your name on it. The one that moves something in your body when you say it out loud. That clarity is available to you. It always has been. It was just buried under the noise of what you thought you were supposed to want. You are not unlucky, you are just unpracticed in ownership. And practice is something you can begin today, not when you feel ready. Not when the evidence shows up. Today, with one small action that belongs to the version of you who already has this. One declaration. One choice that votes for the new identity instead of the old one. This is what the E.C.H.O Method is. Not a trick, not a shortcut, not a way of manipulating the universe into giving you things. It is a return. A return to your body, which has been waiting for you to stop running from it. A return to your truth, which has been there underneath every performance and every bypass and every moment of pretending to be further along than you were. A return to your natural receiving power, the capacity that was always yours, that scarcity and fear and inherited limitation taught you to distrust, and that you are now, page by page and practice by practice, learning to trust again. Let me remind you of what you are returning to. Energy is the foundation. Your nervous system is not your enemy. It is the instrument through which everything you want either flows or gets blocked. Regulate it every morning, 5 minutes, The breath, the hand on the chest, the quiet reminder that it is safe to be here. Move your body when the energy gets stuck. Shake it out. Dance it out. Walk it out. Do not underestimate how much shifts when you simply stop being still. Clarity is the signal. Vague desires get vague results. Go underneath the surface to the real desire, the felt one, the personal one, the one that has your specific emotional truth in it rather than a generic aspiration borrowed from someone else's vision board. Write your desire blueprint. Visualize from the inside. Feel what it would feel like to already be living it. That feeling is not fantasy. It is the future reaching back to show you what is possible. Healing is the doorway. The parts of you that tense up when you imagine having what you want are not obstacles. They are invitations. Turn toward them. Speak to them with the gentleness you would offer a frightened child. Let yourself grieve what needs to be grieved. Forgive yourself for the beliefs you carried that were never yours to carry. You do not have to be fully healed to move forward. You just have to be willing to stop leaving parts of yourself behind. Ownership is the frequency. Stop waiting to be chosen and choose yourself. Stop asking when it is coming and start walking like it is already on its way. Close the gap between who you are in private and who you are in public. Make the declaration even when it feels too bold, especially when it feels too bold. The universe responds to certainty, and certainty is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward anyway. Energy, clarity, healing, ownership. Read this book again when you forget. And you will forget, not because you are not serious, but because forgetting is part of being human. Life will pull you back into old patterns. The fear will resurface. The doubt will come back wearing a new outfit. The waiting trap will open its doors and make itself look very comfortable and very reasonable. When that happens, come back here. Come back to the breath. Come back to the honest question of what you actually want. Come back to the resistant part and speak to it with gentleness instead of pushing past it. Come back to the one small action that belongs to your future self. Come back to the declaration. This is not a one-time read. It is a ritual, a returning, something you come back to whenever you have drifted, the way you come back to your breath in meditation. Not with judgment about how far you drifted, just with the quiet decision to return. I want to leave you with the thing that has stayed with me the longest from my own journey through this work. Your desires are not random. They did not arrive in you by accident, assigned to the wrong person, meant for someone more qualified or more healed or more ready than you. They arrived in you because they belong to you, because they are pointing towards something that is genuinely yours to live. They are, in the truest sense, echoes from your future, the life that is already waiting, already built, already listening for you to stop asking if you deserve it and start walking toward it like you do. Because you do. You always did. You've reached the end of the book.